Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm back with our second segment of the night. We just got finished talking about the course breakdown for the John Deere Classic. But before we move on to the Olympics preview, I would like to remind you guys that if you want to become a bigger part of the show here at the gsmcsportsnetwork.net, use the tips and donations link that I just mentioned, and that is across the screen right now, to help support the creators here at the gsmcsportsnetwork.net and the GSMC Sports Network. We appreciate everything helps there. So going on now to the Olympics preview. All we can really do is look at the field because we don't have the exact course stats just yet. I was actually looking for it earlier, but it doesn't seem like we are able to see. Sorry. The competition format. So there's going to be a men's and a women's. There's going to be a men's and women's field. I will not be talking about the women's field here on this podcast. We do stick to the men's pro circuit. If you do want to listen to the women's preview, I know one of my fellow co-hosts, or not my fellow co-host, but one of my fellow hosts here at the GSMC Sports Network, Samantha Genzer, does a fantastic job breaking down all things Olympics, and I know she'll probably get to the to the Paris women's golf field and event. So keep an eye out for that from the Women's Hoops and Heels podcast. However, for this time, we're going to just be talking and looking at the men's field. The Olympic golf competition consists of a 72-hole individual stroke play for both men and women. 4 rounds scheduled over 4 consecutive days. Scores are cumulative from round to round. The player with the lowest aggregate score wins. Very typical, PGA Tour stuff here. Le Golf National is the course. I do speak French, so that just means the national golf. It is one of Europe's top golf courses, a beautiful and innovative setting to welcome the highest levels of international competition. It is located in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, 41 kilometers from the Olympic Village, owned and managed by the French Golf Federation. The venue was conceived as a permanent home for the annual French Open tournament and as a national training facility. Le Golf National opened in 1991 and was fully renovated in 2016. In 2018, it hosted the Ryder Cup. So, has hosted some pretty big events in the past, and we're going to take a look at the 2018 Ryder Cup as a reference. So some of the guys that played in the field in the 2018 Ryder Cup and some of the guys that will be playing in this field this upcoming year. So for the Ryder Cup, it was Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Patrick Reed, Bubba Watson, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Webb Simpson, Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and Tony Finau, I believe, were the ones that were picked to play in the Ryder Cup. I believe America did win this one. Europe won this one by a lot. Yes, this was the one that Europe won a lot. So the Europeans did get an advantage here in this French golf course. If I could find the scores, I don't know why I can't find the scores from this one. Okay, there we go. Paul Casey was one of the best players for Europe. Francesco Molinari, Tommy Fleetwood, and Sergio Garcia all also played very well. Rory McIlroy didn't have too great of a weekend here at the Ryder Cup. He was 2-3-0 at the Ryder Cup. So what does that mean for this Olympics preview? Well, Rory McIlroy has been on this golf course playing in a big tournament before and didn't play too well. I believe Francesco Molinari is also in the field. Let me make sure that is correct. Let me go down to Italy here. And no, he is actually not. He actually did not qualify. That's a shock that he didn't. But, as I'm speaking now, we're going to go through the field a little bit and then toss back to the 2018 Ryder Cup to look at how they do. First off, the United States gets 4 guys here because they are top 15 in the official World Golf Rankings. Everybody in the top 15 of the official World Golf Rankings gets to go on, but there is a maximum of 4 per country. So The only country with 4 is America. It's Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, and Collin Morikawa. I talked plenty about that in a previous podcast if you guys want to check that out. But for Ireland, this is probably the second best team. Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry is a fantastic team. But as I mentioned, Rory McIlroy not too fantastic when it comes to this golf course. Ludvig Åberg, Alex Noren from Sweden can make some noise. That's going to be one to look out for. Norway's Victor Hovland is going to be very much one to look out for, but Chris Ventura isn't the best second there. In Spain, it's Jon Rahm and David Puig instead of Sergio Garcia. Jon Rahm we knew would make it, but David Puig was a little bit of a shock from Spain. He definitely has a chance, however, to do something here. Japan, it's Hideki Matsuyama and Keita Nakajima. We're going to see if Hideki is healthy here. He might have to withdraw, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does. Tommy Fleetwood and Matt Fitzpatrick from Great Britain. Tommy Fleetwood, I believe, was in this 2018 Ryder Cup. He was, and he was fantastic at it. So some guys that are in the field that were in this Ryder Cup is Tommy Fleetwood, Rory McIlroy, Alex Noren, and Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm was 1-2 overall in his 3 matches, so only 1 win. Alex Noren was 2-1-0 overall, so 2 points is very impressive for Alex Noren. Rory McIlroy 2-3-0 as I mentioned, and then Tommy Fleetwood was 4-1-0. So Tommy Fleetwood is definitely one to look out for. And Matt Fitzpatrick is a fantastic second person here in Great Britain. Great Britain might be one of the favorites along with United States, Ireland, and Sweden. I like those 4 teams the most. Another team that I really like is France. The home country, Mathieu Pavon, Victor Perez on their own course at Le Golf National. It's going to be very interesting to see if they're able to play some good golf in their home course that both of them probably have played a lot before. Next up, Austria. Sepp Straka is the only qualifier from Austria. Australia has Jason Day and Minwoo Lee, which is a very strong pairing. Canada, Nick Taylor, Corey Connors looks very good. South Africa, Christian Bezuidenhout and Eric Van Rooyen is a good pair there. Christian Bezuidenhout does a little bit more than Eric Van Rooyen, but both of them can definitely play some good golf. Germany, Stefan Jaeger and Matti Schmid was the ones that qualified. Denmark, Nikolai Højgaard and Thorbjørn Olesen. Thorbjørn Olesen was also in this Ryder Cup. Thorbjørn Olesen was 1-1 in his 2 matches, so not too much to go off from him. None of the Americans that are going to be in this field in this field for the Paris Olympics played in the 2018 Ryder Cups, as the 2018 Ryder Cups was a lot of older names still in this one with Tiger Woods, Bubba Watson, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, some guys that are on the back end of their golfing careers now were in this one. The best player for America was Justin Thomas. He was 4-1-0, and Jordan Spieth was 3-2-0. Both of them won both of their four balls as well, so impressive stuff there. I believe both of them were paired in both the 4 balls that they played in. Tiger Woods lost all 4 matches that he played in, but he won't be in this Olympics, so not really much to talk about there. Going back to the field, though, as Thorbjørn Olesen was in the Ryder Cup 1-1, so he does have experience on this golf course as well. Belgium with Thomas Dietrich and Adrian Dumont de Chazart. Could be a good pairing. Argentina is one of the more sneakier ones. Emiliano Grillo and Alejandro Tosti is a fantastic pairing from Argentina. New Zealand, Ryan Fox and Daniel Hillier. I don't know too much from them. Poland, Adrian Meronk. Chile, Joaquin Niemann and Cristobal del Solar. Joaquin Niemann is going to be a big name in this field as he has had some fantastic results over in Live Golf. We'll see if he's able to play well in France. Sami Välimäki is the only Finland in the field. Taiwan has C.T. Pan and Kevin Yu. Netherlands, Joost Luiten and Darius Vandriel qualified. Joost Luiten had to sue the Netherlands Federation for a spot in the Olympics, and he did win that lawsuit, so we'll see him. But as far as Darius Vandriel, I'd be shocked if he doesn't sue and also make it to Paris. China is Carl Yuan and Zhe Shongdu. Colombia, Camilo Villegas and Nico Echevarria. Italy, Matteo Manassero and Guido Migliozzi. India is two guys that I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names because that just can only result in chaos for me. Puerto Rico is Rafael Campos. Mexico, Carlos Ortiz and Abraham Answer. I believe both of them are in Live Golf. I know Abraham Answer is. Thailand is two names I'm not going to pronounce. Malaysia, Gavin Green. And Paraguay, Fabrizio Zanotti. So those are the guys that qualified. A lot of countries are going to also be represented here at the Paris Olympics. It's going to be interesting to see what the field looks like and how the course does play. We'll talk more about the course breakdown when we get a little bit closer to it, probably the week of for the Paris Olympics. But that'll wrap it up for this second segment, talking about the Olympics preview. Next up on the docket, we'll be talking about the FedEx Cup and give you a little bit update about 3 quarters now through this 2024 golf season.